I'm Amber Davis and welcome to Call to Stage. This is the space where musical theatre takes centre stage. From unforgettable backstage stories with incredible special guests to insights from my life and my theatre journey. We're leaving it all on the mic every single week, so let's jump in. Hi guys, welcome back to Call to Stage with me, Amber Davis, Broadway audition. Now I have a new friend sitting next to me who I met around about 7 months ago. He is wonderful. He's a singer, actor and filmmaker. It's the sensational Casey Light.
Thank you, Amber. Thank you for having me.
Thank
I'm a huge fan of the pod.
Are you?
Yes.
What's my first question going to be?
Oh, God. Is it the same first question every time?
Every time.
Oh, well, I didn't know that.
As Marty, normally I would say pick whatever character you've ever played, but as Marty McFly, what is your pre-show ritual?
Okay. It's the same thing every day, and it's the same post-show as well. Come in. I try to get there an hour before. I stretch, do the full body stretching, all of it, and warm up and sing the last few measures of the first song called Only a Matter of Time, which is the hardest song in the world.
Yes.
And I'm sure my friend Ben, who is sitting off to my right, who also played Marty, also understands what that's like. And we just sing it like we have nodes for about 5 minutes, and then it sounds really, really great.
I love that. Do you ever think if you sing it too many times you won't be able to get it out on the actual show, or is that just me?
Sure, but I try not to get myself to the point of tiredness.
Yes.
I just try to convince myself that I'm never going to sing again, and then it usually comes out great.
We will get to Marty soon. We'll
Great.
talk about Back to the Future. But do you know, I must ask you this because obviously in London, like the theatre community in London is different in some ways in America.
Yeah.
You guys don't warm up. You don't have like a scheduled time where the company
not
have to
together.
come in and warm up.
Yes, I didn't realize that was a thing until your company. Until I saw your company was doing it when I went out to London. Yeah, then Roger was telling me the whole warm-up thing is a big culture out there. I did not even realize.
Yes, so we have to come in an hour and a half before the show starts.
Do you like that or no?
I love it because I feel like it gives you time to connect with your
Your
cast,
peers.
you know?
Yeah.
And it gives you time to, you can go out after warm-up, have something to eat. I don't know. I feel like if I was responsible for getting in and warming up and getting ready all by 7:30, it's like I have a boss. Do you know what I mean?
Sure. Yeah, I mean, it does get quick, and I sometimes will run late to my hair call or my whatever calls. I try to come in an hour before just so I can connect with some people and stretch along the way anyways. First of all, I'd love to go to London and do that and just try that out with that culture and see what that's like. But something about it makes me think, like, what if you have an off day? What if you're like, I don't want anyone to see me right now. I don't want anyone to see me unless I have makeup and fully prepped and everything.
Yeah,
and
that does happen.
Yeah.
That does happen.
But it forces you to kind of get out of your shell in your
Yeah.
natural
Exactly.
self.
And it's like, as soon as you walk into the building, you have to have like your game face
Right.
on.
Do you think like you always did?
I think as the year, say you've signed a year contract and
Yeah.
the year goes on, it's like, wait, this is my show. I'm asking you questions.
No, but it's interesting to me. I want to go out to London. I want to figure it all out.
You do become a lot more relaxed. It's a lot more just like chilled in warm-ups.
Well, that sounds fun. West End producers, I'd like to come try your warm-up.
Do you know, I want to ask you that.
Yeah.
Do you want to come to London?
Yes.
And be, try the West End?
Yes. Oh my gosh. I was just talking to Roger about it this morning. Roger Bart, who plays Doc Brown in Back to the Future. He was like, yeah, man, if you ever get the chance, go out there. It's magical. Yeah, it's just great. And Sunset Boulevard just opened last night, and that was thankfully such a hit out here, but that was such a hit out there too. And
Yeah.
And there's different ways you can do theater. They can get away with some things out there that we can't hear, like the way that Sunset Boulevard was done. The song
Correct.
itself was
Yeah.
a little bit more involved out there and less dangerous, less people pushing. But
I've seen the TikToks.
yes. But it's just great. I can't wait. I hope I eventually get to do something out there.
Well, we would welcome you with open arms.
Oh, thank you.
And Ben and I do have a spare room, so if you ever want to stay, you just can come and live with us for a bit.
Come on, man. I'd love to.
Now, you grew up in Arizona.
Yeah.
Did you train? I searched the internet for this. Did you train in musical theatre?
Not in college.
No.
No. But basically my entire life, yes, because my mom was in musical theater and she started me out acting when I was young.
Okay.
And she taught me pretty much everything I
you
know.
know.
Yeah.
What would you do? Like Sunday school, Saturday school? Like, it's so different here.
Sunday school, Saturday school. No, honestly, we would just do it. Like, I would go Monday through Friday was school for me, and then I would go to do shows after school, either at the school or I would go to my local community theater
Okay.
and do stuff there. And then I learned pretty much my entire life has been learning on the job because I started working professionally when I was 3, and everything's just been learning through that.
What did you do at 3 years old?
A Subway commercial, a
Wow.
Goodwill commercial, and then I did 5 years of a production of A Christmas Carol where I was Tiny Tim. Yeah.
Can we get the footage of those adverts so we can
Oh
show
my gosh,
the
I'm
listeners?
sure that
We will
people
have
would
to-
run with that if I put that out. It's somewhere. I have it at home. My grandparents probably watch it frequently.
Oh, please, can we have that? We must
Yes.
have that. And then you won the National High School Musical Theatre Award for playing Jean Valjean.
Well, I appreciate that, but I actually didn't even win. I was a finalist.
You were a finalist.
I was a finalist. I won the regional award that got me to the national version, and then I was a finalist. So I didn't even win.
Wow.
But that is it. It was with Valjean, and that is how my career kind of got bigger. Yeah.
Is that like the kind of ticket?
Yeah, that was the one. It's kind of like a Disneyland Fast Pass. That's how I kind of call it.
Really?
But it's called the Jimmy Awards for short. But it's kind of like a Fast Pass into meeting the people you'd want to meet if you were going to get into the industry. So like the right casting directors and stuff like that. And fortunately, there was a show that was available for me at the time that I was right for.
Yeah.
Which is cool.
And before we touch on that particular show, like you said, your mum is or was an actress?
She both is and was, but
Okay.
she was on Broadway.
She was in
yeah.
Les Mis.
Yep.
That is that's unbelievable. I
You
love
two should
that.
do Les Mis. He would be a good Marius. You would be a good
Ben and I.
Cosette. And yes.
I don't think we could work together again. We'd kill each other.
Not unless you're mother and son. Just
Yeah,
again.
because that's right.
Every
you know?
time. Every single. It's Oedipus. Yes.
And your mother was in Les Mis.
Yes.
That's unreal. Like, that is wild to me.
Yeah, I know. It's so special. And she just really has been an encouraging force in continuing doing it because, she just learns so much and there's kind of no way to really know, as you know, you never really know how the industry is going to be until you're in it. There's as much education as you can possibly get, but the personalities you'll run into, the things you have to overcome, those are things that were taught to me from a very young age that I would experience. So even though I still experienced it like everyone else, I was a little bit more prepared.
Yeah.
Just because she was there. Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah.
Was there ever an other option for you when it came to a career, or were you absolutely heart set on being on the stage?
Yes and no. I was going to go to school prior to doing the Jimmy Awards. I was going to go to school for filmmaking, and I toured one school. It was Cal Arts in California, and it was great. But then I ended up performing, and it was always that type of thing in the back of my head that I was like, I don't want to go to school for performing, but I have a feeling that I'm going to be performing. I have a feeling that even if I go to school for this, somehow it's going to end up working out. Yeah, so now filmmaking's on the back burner, ironically, and now it's been performing.
You'll always have that, you know?
Yeah, hope so, yeah.
Like, you have other avenues that you have and will explore.
Oh, for sure. I mean, there's just like, I don't know, like I have like a superstition of it all, of saying things out loud, which is ironic because most people try to manifest it.
Yeah.
But like, I just think that there's so many things, like none of the things in my career are ever things I expected.
Okay.
I never expected Back to the Future. I never expected Almost Famous. I never expected anything. So if it's like filmmaking or if it's like interior designing, who knows? I mean, I don't even know. Like,
Interesting.
just random things that you pick up along the way.
So your Broadway debut was Almost Famous,
Yeah.
the musical.
Yeah.
What exactly is that show about? Because I didn't get the chance to see it.
Watch the movie.
Okay, it's a movie.
It's a good movie too.
You love a movie musical.
I do love a movie musical, and I keep wondering why I keep getting so excited about them, but then I realize I'm a filmmaker too.
Yes.
Of course I like movie musicals, and that's why I like Sunset Boulevard. Go see that. I don't know
Also,
why I'm advertising Sunset
we have
Boulevard.
something in common because every role I've played
Yeah.
has been
A movie musical. Exactly. The Outsiders, Lost Boys, Back to the Future, and Almost Famous is my entire musical theater career, and they're all movies.
How crazy.
Yeah, it's so weird.
And how old are you when you did your debut?
19 or 20.
So you were so let's just ballpark 19 years old. You debuted on Broadway.
I was 20. Sorry.
How does a 20-year-old navigate that?
Horribly, right? I don't know.
I like your honesty.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, it's just learning on the job. It's like, even if I had gone to 4 years of college, the feeling of holding the weight of something completely new on your shoulders for the 3 years that I built it, and then for the 4 or 5 months that we ran it, which wasn't even long, but it's huge. It's ginormous, and I did my best, and I think I presented publicly very well. But there's so much to learn. There's so many things you'll never expect from this industry, and it's things like when reviews are good, and then when our reviews are bad. They're complete different feelings, and I was very fortunate to have the people be pretty nice to me.
Yeah.
But that also puts an extra added pressure. So
yeah, it does.
Yeah, I don't know. I try to tell people as much as possible that I'm pretty much navigating it as horribly as everyone else
and
is.
day by day.
Yes,
to
exactly.
this day.
Yeah.
So you were 20, you were leading a show. Even just like put that aside, were you living alone in New York?
Yeah.
Like that add on top of everything.
Yeah.
It's like you weren't familiar. Were you familiar with New York at the time?
Not at all. I went to
Okay.
New York for the first time when I was 17 years old on a school trip, and then 2 months later is when I got Almost Famous the first time. So that is literally my entire experience with New York has been working here. I've never just lived here or ever just vacationed here or whatever. It's overwhelming, but I love it now.
Do you?
I love it. It's
I
great.
love that.
There's just so much to do. Running around and being young and getting on a train and going somewhere in the middle of the night is just great. I love New York.
But you don't seem like, and now that I've like known you for a while, you don't seem like the type of person that like goes out partying and.
Not anymore.
Oh,
Did.
so you did?
Yes.
I love that.
Oh yeah. Back to the Future was my I call Back to the Future my college years, because Almost Famous was my elementary years.
Okay.
And I was not going on at all. I was home and I had no balance. The show was 100% of the time. Then when I went into Back to the Future, I was like, this is the show that I'm gonna like get to know people in the community, and then I'm gonna go out and go to the parties and like just feel like I'm a part of something other than going to the show every day and sleeping all day.
Yeah. So let's talk about Back to the Future. Original Marty McFly on Broadway, like that carries some weight.
Yeah, man. Yeah, it's awesome.
Did you never see Marty McFly as a role, as an option?
I did. I followed the account. It's the only musical I've ever followed on Instagram, because I try to not keep my whole like page like musical theater filled, which ironically now it completely is. But I followed it the second it was announced. Just because I was a fan. I just was like, I can't wait to see how they do this. This sounds impossible. Then I saw Ollie was announced, and
Did you know of Ollie?
just from the videos, and watching all the stuff, and I thought he was great. And then Ben was announced, so I just kept following it. And then, it came around in my inbox to audition for it around the time I was in Almost Famous, so I couldn't audition then. And then it came back around when Almost Famous said it was going to close, and then it just happened.
It was like a seamless transition.
It was really, really quick. It was literally like I got it 4 days before we closed.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Obviously, I have no idea, we, the listeners, either have no idea what the Broadway audition system is like.
Yeah.
How exactly was the Marty process?
I'm sure it's pretty similar to how, maybe, let me know if I'm wrong.
Okay.
But it sounds similar to what y'all do out there. It's, your agent gets a call that they're looking for a replacement or they're looking for this new role, and then they go, it's different for everyone. If you're going in for chorus, then you're doing a dance call, and then you're going to like 5 different callbacks or whatever. But fortunately, because of Almost Famous and because that I was already on Broadway at the time, I was able to skip to the reading and the singing part of it. So I had, because my schedule was so busy, they had to put all of my callbacks into one day.
Oh, wow.
So we did a meeting with John Rando, our director,
Love
at
John.
the very beginning, and that took about 30 minutes, and then we had singing for the team, and then we brought Roger Bart in about 20 minutes after that, and then I read with Roger.
This is your first round?
This is my only round.
Oh,
This was my
interesting.
only round, because the creative team had all seen me in Almost Famous.
Great.
So this was my only round, because I literally, because the show was closing and we had so much stuff to get done before it closed, we had to put everything on the same day.
Did you get a vibe from that day that maybe I've got this?
I don't know. I mean, I think there was a maybe for sure, but I also was like, this is a thing that I'm gonna have to write a coffee table book. Nobody reads later. I was so brokenhearted and just so like thrown off by what happened with Almost Famous, which was just basically, long story short, a very quick closing after a very successful run out of town. And I think I was very kind of not disillusioned, but very much like, dang, Broadway's mean and hard. So I think I had this feeling of like, well, at least I just went into a room and got to act.
Yeah.
And got to do something, and I felt pretty good about what I did. And I almost was like, man, should I even stay out here, or should I go home and work at Baskin Robbins? Like, it was one of those very like random themes. And not that I was not thankful to be there, but I think I was just happy to meet Roger. I was happy to meet John and do some work that I think I was pretty proud of at the time. Clearly, I guess it works, because it happened pretty fast.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love that. And I do, the only thing I will say is that the Back to the Future Broadway cast and the London cast, it does feel like a one big family.
It does.
Doesn't it?
Yeah, it's definitely. I wish I was closer with the current version of the cast, the year 4 cast, but I haven't seen them too much. But I literally got to go out there and meet you guys.
Yeah. And then you touched on before that you worked on The Outsiders. You were in the original workshop, correct?
Yeah.
Would you have liked to have been in the original Broadway production?
Of course. Yeah. I mean, I'm sure a beautiful show. I have not seen it, but I really want to see it. Yeah, I mean, those songs are just like so meaningful, and that group is a great group.
Yeah.
Sky Lakota is like, whew, that's my boy. He's just so great, and but yeah, but you were part of like creating what it is now. Mm-hmm.
You know,
yeah,
that's so special.
That's like the weird thing about being out here, that these are things, again, like I never thought about growing up. Like my one dream, I was like, I just want to be like my mom. I was like, I just want to join a show that I really, really love and play a role that I really love, which is what she got to do. She got to play Eponine and Cosette, which are dream roles.
Yeah.
I never thought about originating or workshopping something, or being a part of a workshop that I didn't end up being on the album for or whatever. Like I never thought about these things, but they're awesome. Like it's cool to sit down at a piano with a composer and them go, actually, it sounds better. Can you try this? And then suddenly you just try something off the cuff, and then it's in the score forever.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
And you were literally a part of that.
Yeah, man. Ponyboy Curtis.
I love that. Now, Ben was like, you have to ask Casey this. Please, let's talk about the Warriors album.
Thanks.
So, and your song is Orphan Town.
Yes.
I was obsessed with your Instagram, where it was just like Lin-Manuel Miranda had DM'd you casually. Please tell us everything.
You know, I really wish there was more to tell other than what I've put online, but it kind of really is what happened. I mean, I met him at Almost Famous. He came to the show like 2 or 3 times.
Okay.
He brought Jimmy Fallon one time. Like,
Casual.
he's friends with Tom Kidd, who wrote our music, and he's also just a fan of theater. He likes taking in theater, and I think he liked that show. I mean, he came back 3 times, but we met then, and that was it. When you meet someone who's as busy as he is, you're not expecting anything.
Yeah.
You know, you just go, okay, well, like, that was cool that I got to meet him, and I'll probably tell my best friend about that or whatever. Shout out.
Put it on my
Shout
CV.
out Micah, yes. But yeah, then literally randomly, like, he DM'd me, and he just goes, hey, I have something that we're literally recording this week. Would you be able to like come into the studio right now? And I'm sitting there, I'm like, I really would love to learn the song before I show up and sing for Lin-Manuel Miranda. So fortunately, I was like, I'd love to learn it first. So yeah, I gave it a couple days and came in, and we basically just like recorded this little like, you know, backing track that I did for this huge grand album and grand song. Like, I mean, the people in my ear, even though they weren't with me because they had already been recorded, but the people in my ear were Philippa Sue and Jasmine Cephas Jones and Utkarsh, who was amazing. And it was just the best. And it was like Lynn's on the other side of the glass. Like, he's like, what if you tried it right here? It'll be like more like, also match it up sometimes, like plays, he's giving ideas and I'm playing back, and it was just like a couple hours that I was like, I'll remember this for the rest of my life, and I'm just a little tiny part of it, but it's out now and it's awesome.
So listen,
please, it's really great.
I just can't even fathom that.
Yeah, like Nas is on it, and like Ghostface Killah, and then like Busta Rhymes, Coleman Domingo. It's just a crazy album, and he just kind of
Ben's in utter shock.
It's crazy, and you sit there and you go like, of course, the immediate question people ask is like, is this gonna turn into a musical or a movie or whatever? And you sit there and you go, isn't this enough?
Yeah.
I mean, like we got Ghostface Killah, like that's crazy. Coleman Domingo is like, oh, and then like Lauryn Hill.
Oh my God.
She's a whole song. So clearly I'm just in the background, just being like, Orphan Town, like just the most like silly little fun call outs, but I'm just so happy to be part of it.
I actually don't think I'd be able to open my mouth. I'd be like,
oh, it's so great. I love it. It's so
now,
fun.
Moving on to your film making and TV side, because yes, you're amazing at musical theatre, you're amazing on stage, but you do have another avenue, 2 different avenues. So you have done lots of TV acting, haven't you?
I've done a couple, yeah.
The Burge, Dark Harvest.
Yeah.
31st best Halloween movies of all time.
Yeah, I'll take it.
That's an epic.
Yeah, I was blown away. I love that. I love that movie. It's also very Halloween-y. Like it's jack-o'-lanterns everywhere, and that was like the craziest experience of my life. I'm glad it's out now. I'm glad people are watching it now.
It is dramatically different to be on like a live production, like a live show.
Yeah.
Did you naturally just know how to be in front of a camera?
I would say no, but my mom would say yes, because my first thing that I did was a Goodwill commercial, and I did apparently talk right into the camera, and then they had to do a second take where they told me not to talk into the camera.
Okay.
So apparently my mom would say that that's what I was supposed to do, but I don't know. It feels different. I love both equally. I'll say that. It's really special to stretch different muscles as an actor.
Do you have a film, a TV agent and a theatre agent, or is that all one person?
All one person. I have an agent and a manager. My manager's in LA, so he's more film focused because there's just not a lot of theater out there. And then my agents understand theater a little bit more because they're New York based, but they both get me both.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, they're great. It's
just great.
It's a good squad. It's you definitely like, if you're ever lucky enough to find people who are not yes men. I don't like having yes men on my team. People who will challenge me and debate with me. And then also people who get all the things you do. You know, I'm not just a film actor. I'm not just I can do all the things.
And then, of course, short films. You directed and wrote Thespians and I Got You.
Yeah. I love that you brought that up on here. This is like an honor.
Yeah, but this is insane. Like that you have that mind.
Oh, thank you.
If you were to start writing something, like how would one tackle that? How would you start it? Do you just have an idea one day and think, oh my God, that would be amazing? Or
yeah, my notes app is huge. I'll say that. It's just I literally was in the bathroom the other day at The Notebook, and I was looking at like tiles on the bathroom walls, and I was like, whoa, there's something there, and like I just wrote it down. And I think whenever you get something that could be interesting, I just find that like, if you're not going to make it, who's going to make it? Yeah. And then But I also, this is kind of random and wild, but like I also feel like when I'm doing too well, I run out of ideas. I'm dry. I feel like you almost have to experience life, and you almost have to go through hardships and stuff like this. And then suddenly I have like an idea that I have to make immediately. And I drop everything for it. So if anyone really pisses me off, just know that a movie's being made about you immediately.
I will do that for you if you want. I can piss you
off. Please. You edit
you
this entire podcast to make it be like, I hate Amber.
I promise I'll be inspo for you.
Okay, great.
Now, I can't keep you for much longer.
I have a question for you before you continue with your last question. Am I allowed to? Do I have time?
Oh my God, ask me.
Performing for a live audience where thousands of people are watching you, but you're not seeing them. Do you relate it to your experience of being on reality television where you are being seen by a bunch of audience members that you don't see?
Do you know, I think what I've done is I've completely disassociated my life from that period in my life. What I say is, if I hadn't done reality TV, I don't think I would be where I am today, because being out of the industry for just those 12 months that I was on reality TV made me realize how much I wanted to be on stage.
Wow.
So actually I owe a lot to it, but I cannot compare being on reality television to being on stage. They're two different planets for me.
Wow.
Yeah. Really good question though.
I've always wondered about that. Huh. That's cool.
One more. I'm only allowed to ask you one more question.
Okay.
What is your ultimate goal?
How do I answer this without going against my superstitions of not saying anything? I think it's basically the freedom to do things that make you happy. I think that's kind of the
wow.
You know what I mean? The freedom to have the choice to be able to do something that fulfills you. Like, for example, like I produce these shows in my hometown that fulfill me just as much as doing the lead role in a Broadway musical. If I'm allowed to be with my friends and creating art, like that's fulfilling to me. If you are blessed with the opportunity to have people around you that will allow you to do these things or will help you do these things, you're set.
That was probably the best answer we've had. Yes. It was like true. It's like you really know yourself, don't you? And
oh my God, I wish.
Really? It comes across like you do, and you know the true value of happiness. You know?
Yeah, thank you.
Like you haven't got like a crazy ego. Well, not in this room anyway.
Yeah, I totally hide it. I'm gonna walk out and be like, God, that was such a good answer. No. No, I mean it's true though. I think that comes from my family. I think that comes from the people you choose to surround yourself with.
Yeah. Never change.
But you guys are the same. You've always been that way. Ben and Amber, both of them.
Well, thank you. And guys, thank you so much for listening, and have an amazing reality show tonight, my love.
Thanks.
Bye.